Kia ora, my name is Claire Ali. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Every week I upload a new yoga flow, so if you are new, please subscribe, and if you like today's session, then please leave a comment at the end of the class. So today's flow is called Twist, Tone and Detox. Twists are particularly rejuvenating for our system because it's like we're compressing and then decompressing the internal organs. So imagine you're wringing out a towel, and when you wring out a towel and you squeeze all the water out of the towel and then you release it, and all of a sudden there's this new space and we flush energy throughout the system. So for today's sequence, you will need a yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, then you can use like a kimono tie or a robe tie. A sarong or a long piece of material also works really well. So to begin with, we'll just lie down and take a few relief breaths to center our energy. So bring your hands onto the belly, take a big inhale into the nose, hold the breath, and exhale side out through the mouth. Okay, big inhale in, exhale side out. And then as we go through a few more rounds of breath, just begin to soften. So by that I mean softening any areas or tightness that don't quite need to be there. So anything that's holding on. So perhaps that's softening around the eyes or the jaw, or peeling back the shoulders. It might be softening into the belly so that it's a little bit easier and freer to breathe. Or tucking of the tailbone to press the lower back down into the mat. And just release the weight of the body down. Let yourself sink. We'll go for 3 more rounds of breath. Just making the breaths nice and extended. See if you can make the exhales a wee bit longer than the inhales. And then gently open your eyes. Take your strap, place it around the ball of the right foot, and send the right foot up towards the ceiling. So if the hamstrings are feeling a wee bit tight, you can either bend into your knee or loosen the strap so that the leg can straighten. Draw the toes towards you and flex the heel away from you, and automatically, just by doing that, you'll actually start to feel an opening through the back of the leg. And invite a wee bit of movement into it, so perhaps it's from side to side or back to front. And then releasing the left leg down to the mat. Take right hand over to the right hip and gently start to walk your right leg over towards the opposite side. The right arm can come out wide. So it's okay if the right shoulder is lifted. And if you need to, if you find that there's a little bit of strain through the leg, you can actually bend into the right knee. Just check in with the breath. So you want nice, even, organic breaths. And then slowly bring it back to the center. Taking the leg up towards the ceiling again and just noticing if there's any new space. Release. Taking the left leg, bringing the strap around the ball of the foot, extend the leg up towards the ceiling. Again, if you're feeling like there's a bit of tightness in the hamstring, just pop a bend through your knee, or release the strap and loosen it so that you can get the leg to straight. Again, you want to take the toes towards you, flex the heel away from you. And create a little bit of movement, so perhaps it's taking the foot from side to side or up and down. And releasing the right leg onto the mat, take left hand over to the left hip. Gently start to take the left leg all the way to the opposite side and bring the left arm out wide. Again, that shoulder can lift. If you're feeling like there's a little bit too much tightness through the left leg, just bend into the knee. If the left leg is straight, start to take your toes further towards the top of the mat. Check in with the breath, so there's a nice softening and relaxed, easy breath happening. And then release. Take the strap over to one side. Take your hands to the back of the thighs. Just roll backwards and forwards on your sit bones. And if you're feeling nice and energized, you can take the feet all the way over the head. And then taking hold of the ankles, just come up to find a cross-legged position, coming into Sukhasana. If you feel that it's a little bit tight for you here, then place a cushion just underneath your sit bones, and this just gives your pelvis a bit more space and enables you to find a nice lift through your spine. Inhale, breath, arms up to rise, and then taking your left hand over to your right knee, bring your right fingertips back behind you. Big inhale breath to lift up through the chest, and exhale, spin the chest open. The shoulder draws in towards the center line. Again, find that softness through your breath. Option 2 is to come into a half lotus variation. So we'll take the right foot and place it on top of the left thigh. Wrap your right arm back behind you, take hold of the foot, and then taking your left arm to the right knee. Big inhale breath to lift you up, and exhale, twist your spine. So you want to twist the spine and the chest opens towards the side. Release, take a counter twist in the opposite direction, and then come back to the center. So we take the opposite side now, and take the opposite cross of the legs, the cross that feels a little bit alien to you. Inhale, arms up to rise, and exhale, breath, taking right hand over to left knee, bringing the fingertips behind you. Big inhale to lift up tall, and exhale, spin your back shoulder in towards the center line. Option 2, taking the left foot, placing it on top of the right thigh for half lotus, bringing your hand back behind you, taking hold of the foot, and then right hand comes over to left knee. Big inhale breath to lift up, and exhale, spin your chest open. So if you are in option 1, you can remain there. And then gently bring yourself back to the center. Roll over onto the hands and knees. Take tabletop position. And we'll extend one arm up towards the ceiling. Really open out the chest. You can circle out into that arm. And then thread it underneath the opposite side. So in my case, the right arm is out long. And come onto your fingertips. And really lengthen and stay active through the arm. Draw the shoulder back away from the ear. And come to rest on the side of the head. And then coming back onto the hands and knees, we take the opposite side. So lifting the arm up towards the ceiling, and you can just start to circle out through that arm. And threading it underneath the opposite side. So in my case, my left arm is now out long, and I'm on my fingertips and drawing the shoulder away from the ear. Again, checking in with the breath. So nice, long, organic, deep breaths. And then making your way back to the center. We extend back into downward dog and just start to paddle out the feet from side to side. We have 5 breaths or so here. You can shake the hips, really bend into the knees. Perhaps nod the head and work into the neck and the shoulders. And then pausing for a static downward dog. So if the back of the legs are tight, just bend into your knees and press your chest towards your thighs. If it's available to you, you can start to press the heels down towards the mat. And then everybody coming onto the balls of the feet, rolling through the spine, take plank pose, hold here, lift up through your lower belly, stay strong through your torso and press through the hands and the feet. Lower your knees down onto the mat and then gently lower the belly all the way down. Seal pose, take the arms out wide, press through the palms and then take the feet to the outside edges of the mat. Inhale to lift up through the chest. Draw the shoulders back. So seal pose is a variation of cobra. Seal actually comes from yin yoga. And exhale, gently lower. Plant the palms underneath the shoulders and in one swift movement, see if you can press yourself up to plank. Extend back downward dog. Walk the hands back towards the feet. And then take opposite hands to opposite elbows, heel ball toe the feet as wide as the mat, and slowly just rock your weight from side to side. Plant your palms down, turn the ankles in, and come to find Malasana squat. And you can just take the weight from side to side and find a twist through the torso, perhaps take your arms up over the head. Plant your palms down onto the mat, walk your hands forward and come back into downward dog. Picking up the right leg, kick the heel towards the sit bone. And as you're doing this, not only are you feeling an opening through the right hip, but the left leg starts to feel nice and long. Draw the right knee in towards the right tricep, hold. And then extend the leg back behind you, 3-legged dog. Draw the right knee down the midline and hold. Really squeeze it up. And exhale, take it back behind you. This time, drawing the right knee towards the left tricep, twist your abdomen, and then release the leg. So you come onto the blade edge of the foot and start to pivot yourself towards your left side. Fallen star, left arm extends up over the head. Keep the hips nice and high. Again, you want to find that softness and evenness of breath. And exhale, gently lower. Extend the leg back behind you, 3-legged dog. This time, knee draws in towards the chest. Step it between the hands. And just bring yourself onto the fingertips. 5 breaths here, just working your weight backwards and forwards, perhaps from side to side. So you're sending some juice into the right outer hip. So the breath will start to get a little bit more heated, which is fine, but you just want to make sure it's still going, it's still nice and even, and you're not holding on. Inhale breath, arms to rise. Interlace the hands behind the head. Lift up through the chest. And then as you exhale, come to find a small back bend through your thoracic spine. Lift up through the lower belly, so the back bend actually comes from a lift, and then you start to take it back. Inhale, arms to rise, and then taking the left hand to the outside of the right knee, opposite arm comes back behind you for a twist. And you want to find a lift through the lower belly, and then take it into the twist. Option 1. Option 2 is to hook the left elbow over the right knee, bring your hands to heart center, and then raise up through the back leg. So really find a twist from your lower belly. Press your palms together to really propel the twist. Stay nice and strong through the back leg, and find that nice evenness of breath. Frame through the front foot. Start to lengthen through your front leg, and the back heel remains lifted. So we have 5 breaths here. Option 1 is for a static hold, just using the pulse of the breath to take you a little bit deeper into the experience of the pose. Option 2 is to bend and straighten through the front knee and just bring a bit of movement into it, just to give you a chance to explore. It's like, what's going on in my body this morning? Last inhale breath, and then framing through the front foot. We step back for a 3-legged dog. Again, kicking the right heel towards the sit bone, pausing here. Then coming onto the ball of the left foot, step the right foot back behind you for a nice low wild thing. The right arm reaches up above the head. So again, I give you a chance just to invite some movement into this. Perhaps you bend into the knees or circle out through the top arm. And then slowly making your way back, plank pose, lowering the knees onto the mat, take the shoulders forward of the wrists, take the belly all the way down. This time we take palms underneath shoulders, inhale, lift up through the chest, draw the shoulders in, draw the elbows in and the shoulders away from the ears, so the pelvis stays on the mat. And then you want to imagine you're curling your tailbone back towards your feet. Exhale, gently lower the belly all the way down. Untuck the toes, and in one swift movement, press yourself up, plank pose. Hold here, take 3 breaths. And exhale, take it back, downward dog. Pause in downward dog for 2 breaths. Just find yourself in the pose. Take any little adjustments you feel you might need. And then we take the opposite side, picking up the left leg, kicking the heel towards your sit bone, open the hip, feel the length through the right leg. And then drawing the left knee towards the left tricep, hold. Inhale, extend it back behind you, 3-legged dog. Knee draws in towards the midline, hold, squeeze it up. Exhale, send it back behind you. Draw the knee in towards the right tricep, twist the abdomen, and then step the foot beside you. So release the foot, turn onto your side, extend the right arm up over the head for fallen start. And you really want to lift the hips nice and high here. Place the hand back down. Extending the leg back behind you on an inhale breath, 3-legged dog. Then drawing the knee in between, the knee comes into the chest, step it between the hands. Lower the back knee down. And you have 5 breaths or so just to, again, invite a bit of movement in. Work into that outer left hip. And send some juice and new space into the body. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just really treating it as an exploration. And then inhale breath, arms to rise, interlace the hands behind the head. Lift up through your spine and then gently take your weight back for a small back bend through your thoracic spine. You want to zip up through the lower belly here and keep the breath nice and fluid. So as the practice heats up, the breath will probably become a bit more rigorous, which is fine, but as long as it keeps at a nice organic pace. Inhale, arms to rise, and then we take the right hand to the outside edge of the left knee, bringing that opposite arm behind you. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, hook the right elbow over the left knee, bring your hands to prayer, and then press the hands to heart center, lift up through the back leg. So you want to find a twist from your lower belly and really see if you can lift the lower belly away from the front thigh. Again, check in with that with the breath. So although the breath will be getting rigorous, there's a softening that can happen by using the breath. So you soften into the pose with ease rather than holding on so tightly. And then framing the front foot, start to straighten through the front leg. And we just invite a little bit of movement into it, or bring it into a static hold, but keep the back heel lifted for a little bit more space. So just checking in with how you're feeling. I'm someone that always likes to explore, take the time to explore a little bit in each posture. And then release. Extend the left leg back behind you, kick the heel towards the sit bone, come high onto the ball of the right foot, and then left foot steps back behind you. As you inhale, reach the left arm up all the way over the head. So coming into wild thing, or some people like to say flipping the dog. And again, invite that sense of movement into it. So perhaps the sit bones press back to the heels and you bend into the knees. Or maybe there's a circle out of the top arm, or a circle out of the wrist. And then release. Extend back into downward dog. Come onto the balls of the feet. Roll through the spine, plank pose. Lower your knees down onto the mat. Hug your elbows in as you lower the belly all the way down. Plant your palms underneath your shoulders. You can take feet as wide as the mat this time, and inhale, lift up into cobra. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and draw the elbows in. So there's this nice wrapping of your shoulder blades around the spine. Check in with the breath. So again, it's going to be a vigorous breath, but you want it to create a softening and a sense of ease in the posture. So it's almost like there's two opposing forces here. And the breath really marries everything together. So there's not strain through the posture, there's a sense of ease and going a little bit deeper. And the breath enables you to do that. And exhale, gently lower. Bend into the knees. Take the knees as wide as the mat and bring it into puppy pose, bringing the chest down. And coming up onto the fingertips so the arms stay active, drawing the shoulders back away from the ears and hollowing out through the armpits. And then walking the hands back, bringing it back into Malasana squat. Just taking the weight from side to side. And then we take the hands to the back of the ankles and start to extend the sit bones up and come into a forward fold. The feet can be as wide as the mat here. You can just bend into one knee and then the other. And then we'll interlace the hands behind us and find a nice wee opening through the shoulders. You can draw the shoulders back, maybe bring them into some circular movements. Bending into the knees, gently sweep the arms up above the head and bring your feet together. Give yourself a little stretch from side to side and then release. So we'll take it through some balancing postures now, and then bring the energy back down. So picking up the left foot, draw it in towards the chest, and then we take it and cross it over the right knee. And you can bring your, option one is to cross it. If you're a little bit wobbly, then just take the ball of the foot beside you. Or you can do a double cross and hook the toes on the back of the standing leg. Then taking the arms out wide and take the left forearm underneath the right. Bring the fingertips to touch. If this is too much for you and a little bit tight, just give yourself a hug and take the hands back behind you. Draw the fingertips up towards the ceiling, the forearms away from you, and then draw the shoulders back away from the ears. So you hit this sweet spot between your shoulder blades. And then gently sink the hips back as if you were sitting down on a chair, and bring your forearms towards your thighs. And just noticing as you come into this that there's a real sense of drawing your energy inwards. So it really requires a sense of focus, and one of the easiest ways to do this is to use your breath. So even if you're wobbling around, the breath will always bring you back to a sense of focus through your energetic body and in the mind. And then gently release. It's not over yet. As you release your hands, draw your knee back into your chest. Option one is to, I'll face this side so you guys can see me. Option one is to take the right hand to the outside of the left knee and then extend the arm back behind you. Option two is to take hold of the outside of the left foot and then extend the leg to straighten. If you're here, really try to lift up through your torso and then find the twist. And you can bend into the standing leg. Sometimes that's a little bit easier and just gives you a bit more space. Again, check in with the breath. The breath really helps you with focus and balance. And then slowly release. Wiggle the hips from side to side. Give yourself a wee shake. And then we stand with feet hip distance apart. Just take the palms out. Bend into the knees. Slightly tuck your pelvis. And take 3 deep breaths. As you breathe, feel a real sense of plugging in and really grounding from the feet all the way to the crown of the head. Slow down your breath. And gently open the eyes. We take the opposite side. So grounding down through your left foot, drawing the right knee into the chest, and then crossing it over the left leg. And then option one is to keep it crossed. Option two, if you're feeling like you're wobbling a little bit, just take the ball of the foot beside you. And option three is to do a double hook and hook your toes around the shin of the standing leg. And then we take our arms nice and wide. Take the right forearm underneath the left. And then bring the hands to touch. If the hands can't quite touch, you can just give yourself a nice hug. Otherwise, the hands are touching. We take the fingertips up towards the ceiling, draw the forearms away from you, and then take the shoulders back away from the ears. So again, there's this nice sweet spot between the shoulder blades. If you're having trouble balancing, really plug in through your grounded foot and zip up through your core. And then we gently start to tip the weight forward, bring the forearms down towards the thighs. And just feel your energy start to settle and draw inwards. This is why I love balances, because they really require you to have a sense of grounding, or they create a sense of grounding. And then slowly release. Take the arms out wide, draw your knee into your chest. Option one, take your left hand to the outside of your right knee. extend the arm back behind you. Option 2, take hold of the outside edge of the foot and then lengthen the leg out in front of you and spin your chest open so you twist again from your lower belly. And just notice one side might be a little bit different than the other. If you've had, especially when you come into balancing, if you're not used to balances, then you often get a lot of fire running through your standing leg, and that's really normal. Again, if you've experienced any sort of perhaps sprained ankles or injuries, generally that means one side or one side of the body, the balance might be a little bit off. So release the posture, inhale breath, arms to rise, and exhale, we'll stand in Tadasana for some grounding. The palms come out, press through the feet are hip distance apart, slight bend in the knees, and gently just tuck your tailbone or curl your tailbone down towards the mat and really feel a sense of plugging in. And we go for 5 deep breaths. And then as we go through the last rounds of breath, just feel a softening through the breath. As you feel a softening through the breath, feel a softening running through the face. And like we did at the beginning of class, a softening just running through any of the areas of the body that feel particularly tight or tense or are holding on and don't quite need to be there. And then taking a big inhale into the nose. And exhale, side out through the mouth. Slowly make your way into a squat. And then bring the sit bones down to the mat for Sukhasana. So thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. This is a really nice practice to do to just wake everything up and feel a sense of energy running through your system. You are welcome to go into one of my other flows on YouTube and perhaps pair this with maybe a hip opening sequence. I have a sequence called Happy Hips or Let Loose, which would be a really nice thing to pair it with. Otherwise, bring yourself down to a final relaxation. Perhaps it's a Shavasana or a seated meditation. I really urge you to spend at least 5 minutes doing so because it really helps you receive the practice and feel the benefits of stillness after practicing. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new, please subscribe. I have also listed my social channels below this, so go sign up for my newsletter through my website and receive some nice goodies. Lots of love and see you next time. Namaste.